feel like I'm doing some sort of really major broadcast for some kind of something, and I don't understand what. Like, I just watched Love on the Spectrum and Autistic Spectrum, talking about people and what they're made up of and what they are, what they're not, conditioning and grooming in their society roles, doing as someone's told. This is right, this is wrong, we got the most money, this is what we do in this institute, this is what you get. You pay your taxes, that's what you get. Organisations, demographics, marginalised people, measuring you up. What are you made up of? I say this from a perspective of my nan. When she was 23, she had all her teeth ripped out by a dentist at the NHS that said, "Oh, you've got gum disease." She went there with one pain in the tooth. And I would never dream of doing that now, given a 24-year-old no teeth. That's the sort of thing they used to do, right? And I went there after being hit by something, a bus, and said, "It hurts." They said, "You need root canal immediately." And the sort of root canal they perform, they leave half your teeth like yellow and half white. And they just do jobs like that. They don't really care, is basically the message. And, you know, the more you mix and socialise outside your parental home, the more you get a bigger picture. It's one thing being on social media and hearing parts of your tribe talk about the things that concern them and being exactly on the same page as you, and then none of it being addressed in mainstream media. It's those kind of things. And then it's just like, okay, I can propose that we can sort of level out the playing field and balance this out if you network and get people of the alternative ilk involved in some of the things and cases that you come across. Because people aren't getting the best care. You type in stage 4, you get treatments come up and stuff, and then you just hear, "Oh, he's stage 4, they're doing this, and then next minute dead." And it's like, you know, when family aren't allowed to see family, you can say what you want about it, respecting their wishes, but once morphine is pumped into a person, that person is away with the fairies and in the most agreeable mood. And if they haven't fallen out with their family, there's no reason why the family shouldn't be put above somebody in that position to say their goodbyes while they're still living and breathing. And then it's like, okay, my family might be desensitized to the point that, oh, nice wife or whatever, doing what he wanted. But I still think it's a bit rude. And I stick up for my mum, who probably would have liked a chance to say goodbye and things. And should she even be saying goodbye, because it's not the best network person, do they have better odds? I've seen it living in London. You see people that have been treated with chemo, the scientific new sterility of the world. Chemo, the best kind of cutting edge science. Chemo, you know, pump a body full of it, nothing can survive, neither can your hair molecules. It's not hypnotherapy, it's not meditation, it's not trying to invigorate the most active ingredient in any healing your mind. In a depressed state, your immune system is lowered. In a active one that's like literally been infused with newfound enthusiasm, like they are one with their subconscious mind, and their subconscious mind is God, and it is one with the ever-growing flourishing tree of potential and infinite possibilities, and saying the right things. Once the word was God. We are above other animals. We don't go, "Oh, institutions all know this stuff, they've got our best interests at heart," and just pumping someone for the chemo. No, it doesn't always wash. It's not a one size fits all. We've learned that from numerous TED talks and stuff. Like, so that person could be cured. Anyway, I've seen cases where people are just like written off after they've been pumped full of the chemo a couple of times. It's like, no, I don't. Someone said there's no such thing as actually a terminal case, because your body's always got that key to healing potentially. And so that person, if they're going to stay on a diet of eating just custard and terrible shit, they're just an acidic environment where it's going to thrive again and keep thriving. Yeah, so it is a write-off case. But is that a write-off case if they were taken out of that environment and documented and something else was done for them because of circumstantial socialisation and marginalisation of that demographic? No, let's say you use the word ignorance in their own well-being might not translate, but it might. If someone said, "Is it too late for you? Would you like to turn your life around?" Would they? Probably. So anyway, documenting it and having a social work franchisee brand was the idea. Moving and shaking people. You know, it's not for everyone, but it's a solution, I think. And it's just stinking sometimes. I find the NHS just stinking in its attitude toward people during COVID and stuff like that. I mean, come on. day one, you might have been on the same page as me and just went, it's a climate ruse. Look at the state of that transparent, bogus bunch of felonious actors on the world stage. Oh, they're playing along, they've got their masks on and they're forming queues. You know, it coincided Kundalini energetically with the Earth's energy, with bonding with Japan. Big in Japan was out there year before, where this is normalised wearing masks on public transport and it's just the done thing. A country that chose to self-isolate until very recently. So it's not only political, it's think tank culture. And when you're in the know and you live in a place like London and you see all the spoofs running around with the Extinction Rebellion and all the spoofs, and I'm going to call them spoofs because that's what they fucking are. It is what it is. You see through it. The screen presents a story and you go, okay, right, whatever. And everybody else can be on whatever page they are. And then they say, oh, this is your role in the community. When everybody's losing their heads, you're just seeing it for what it is, because you've got a grander sense of time and space in your time and space in the universe, on the planet, and what it is and what it isn't. And you can go running around like headless chickens, but I'll just sit there and be, okay, all right, whatever. So it's that kind of thing. And people tend to attack the person. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't harm the messenger. The messenger's just the messenger. The messenger's saying there are alternative things. And if you're prepared to be the waged person that is facilitating and enabling the premature deaths of people, let's be honest, let's keep it real. Like when a person goes in with a cough, a simple cough as an OAP that is left 3 days waiting for a call-out nurse, when she collapses, and what do they solution to it is just pump full of morphine, so the person just further loses their appetite. Bye-bye, see you later. We could just give you antibiotics on day one and be the call-out nurses that we're supposed to profess to be in the healthcare system, the only type of people you're going to clap if they get there in good time. But they don't often do that, and negligence is high. Negligence is rife. Oh, and then we want to knock the person knocking the NHS. Please excuse me. It's a fallible system. I would even go so far as to say the Net film with Sandra Bullock, gatekeeping the data, whether the data's right or whether it's desirable just to pump healthy people with the chemo sometimes. Oh, they're exhibiting a bit of you know what they call, they're a bit neurotic and they seem to always think they're ill, so well, let's just pump them full of it anyway, let's weaken their immune system if that's the sort of people they are, because everybody is on a sort of spectrum. Everybody does struggle to assess sometimes the situation and what it is and what it is not. And when you say to the nurse, my nan, I think she potentially doesn't need to be dying right now, she's unconscious on morphine, but she only come in with a cough, you know. When you sort of, I don't know, the doctor said, the doctor did, I do just follow the order in the chain of command. Oh, hello, nurse, on the front door of A&E. This is my mum. Only one person in the A&E waiting room. Excuse me, she's got Separation Act. Only one person in the... She was of a different nationality. Not that it matters. But when it's very strategic and very like that, and you go, oh, I think this is how Korean nurses behave. This is a different experience in my London home, because it's very diverse and we have every demographic, every person from all over the world in it. You go, that's a very strange way to handle an OAP. It seems very far from care. If I'm explaining to her that she suffers from anxiety, surely her duty is to care and not to tell me that the bug of COVID is a priority in this case and I can't sit with her in a waiting room. But she would profess and go on and be unrigid and unmoving in her militant, security-like nature, deeming the bug more important than the person. So I said, security, get over here and put this person in their care place. So he did, and she resumed her role, which she seemed to have forgotten at that point. So it's like, that is what the point is. Structurally, systematically, it's never black and white. And if you need any proof of that, you just have to look at the law cases. And actually, what you need to look at now is the lack of law cases, because they don't even handle cases when people like myself have had gross misconduct all over their outspoken arse on numerous occasions, but nobody can be asked to help. That's it in a nut. Conscious people. Oh, we say, oh, how, like, people like Russell Brand is a conscious person. Oh, this is a conscious person. Let's just attack the conscious person because we just want to go about our lives in this way. And en masse, we can attack people that stand up for your rights. Lost the enthusiasm to do so because people don't seem to appreciate it. But if I can implement the thing that I want to implement, then you have a flourishing thing that potentially should just invigorate your level of enthusiasm for life once you see the philosophies and things. And it's a massive brand out there, as big as a McDonald's, but it's a franchisee brand. You can buy it if you're Beckham, you can buy it if you're Madonna. You can just have a set of wheels with the advertising space and the body cam and the ability to document things as you come along and go. And it can be from grassroots up all the way through the community. In a way, it's cutting through a lot of stuff and just making the world a more thriving place. Because let's face it, politics are corrupt. There's a lot of bullshit within them, and it just serves services within pharma and corporate. So basically, what we're trying to do as a brand, a community brand for everyone, grassroots, fruit picking, wolf picking, hospitality farming, NVQs, things like the Prince's Trust does for people in the community, but more of just like, yeah, people, that marginalised person that's underneath the under hypnosis by their family. It says, get a job and go and stack a shelf in Tesco. I'll kick you on the street, you bastard. That kind of fam that still exists. And you see lots of people homeless in London, so you must know there's a lot of screw-turning bastards that have children for some reason. But they're all over the streets and things. So there's things that you need to just tackle that are really obvious ways to tackle once you're an ex-town centre warden. Excuse me. An ex-town centre warden. Highly socialised individual you are looking at with a plethora of wealth. And I've been listening to a master. I'm a master. I'm a fucking master. I'm a master. Excuse me. I mean, working class master is what you're actually looking at. Well socialised master. So anyway, going from this job, also putting up satellite dishes where I got a hand of intranet technology, where jobs, you go to each house and job. This person in the community has people. The people are the jobs. The jobs are the people. We have a call centre and it's a pretty cushy little number. It's really relaxed and it's 100% transparency. So you do away with all the bullshit and anything in between. You can't really corrupt something that's 100% transparent. And it does make an award show every 3 years. For the what have you done in the community as a social worker? Oh, I helped this person, this homeless person. I linked up to the 7 existing charities, so they knew where to get sleep and get themselves on their feet with crisis, inquire with no name, and have food and meals in a community environment. So they really could improve instantly. And then they had a fixed abode, because we facilitated that with the government via the big issue scheme. So we act like a taxi on the street. They got a spare room. They got that, and they got that, and they're all linked into a network now. That's just one side of it anyway. But it's facilitating that. But the other thing was, when it comes to the care, it's got another working database of care. You qualify in those industrial scenes, but how many people look at YouTube and say, oh, look at that person claiming to cure arthritis. Look at that person claiming to cure. All these independent experts, all in their own fields, writing novels after books after author on one particular subject, much like that film Lorenzo's Oil, found their own solutions when there was none. So it's that you're taking on board. You're saying, well, there are quick cases. There are people that say quick case. There are this person will take it on. They do the research. They'll give it to the call centre. The call centre will treat this person like a valid client. And they will document it. So it will be making its own revenue as it goes along. That will go to the mainstream if the mainstream's got any sense. Still hasn't embraced me, and it's 2024. Still hasn't embraced me, and I've been abused by the police on numerous occasions. Not because I'm an outspoken. Online I am. Pretty sure all the industries cross over because I've been a decade in background on film sets and stuff. Talk to people about this brand in those environments. Talk to them in the charity environments. Talk to them at the Excel and Olympia environments where they can convert vans and the amount of business it will bring. Prosperity for many. Is anybody not liking the scenario? Even if you don't and you fully support and are engulfed and sheepified into the NHS, is there any part of this that you can disagree is a bad idea? I can't see any fault with it. So I'm listening to Prosperity Light Work Challenge every day. Day 4 today. I listen to people that tell me that I should try and automate my YouTube to try and make a success of me. Even though I've been over a decade online trying to make my poetry and other things work. It become about this over a decade ago. Did make a Kickstarter, had a bit of a saboteur relate that put a pound note in front of the homeless figures, which didn't have my best interests at heart, that one. needed to make another one since coming up with so much more as to why it's viable in a new community. If you want to lead the way as the Western world, as the civilized world, in East as well, then you need this. Simple as that. You need it. It's like in the UK, the USA, where it's all money motivated. It's just an accident waiting to happen. People losing their shit and gunning down kids in fucking primary schools. That's what that is. Another accident waiting to happen. So this is what your solution is. Hey, you get bring the globe a bit closer together. Network it as one big family. You're going to have to get a bit closer than this, and you can't stay in your screen realm, because if there's so many crisis cases that just land up on the street, it's all going to look like Meth City in America, because it already was like that. And then they tried to outlaw tents in the UK. Oh, clean up the act. Clean up the act. We don't want people in the streets in a tent. But they generate in the environment the amount of free flow of drugs. UK is the same as America. It's a little bit more less, but it's there under the belly of it, the crack, the things. They try to make solutions quicker, I think, in this country, like a dope magazine, which is for the people that might perhaps partake in drugs, like the Big Issue street vending machine game, but with drug people addicted. So people come up to, TV, like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna sell you this copy of dope. Yeah, they try to make more solutions. But I think that this is the most viable solution for people to keep people basically in a flourishing system. If you want people in a system, this is a globalist system where liberty, freedom, and the best healthcare of an alternative variety, if you're not willing to trust in the one that the NHS is going to give somebody that's a street. Would a street homeless person really get much care? Probably not. This one would take situations and treat, it would be an ethos of, humanitarianism, and there's another word for any case, it doesn't matter what the case, they will get the best care because it's transparent. And there's no lack of funds. Don't give me that lack of funds to treat everybody is like the most pristine majesty that they all should be treated as. That's the idea, and it's called celestial pull, because if God created the world and we're a collective consciousness, then between us, we are majesty, we are God, created God themselves, between us as a community, right? Alternatively. So yeah, institutes and industrial scenes and universities, universe have been trying to claim power as much as they always do and go, well, this is the best minds on it. It's not the best minds on it. They've been degrading everybody else's minds in the process of that, because everything is just energy, and you can sense when someone's good or someone's bad, or that dentist is going to be drilling 7-year-old heads unethically, putting mercury in them. Some big practice during the 80s that seems to die out, like little phase. What's that? Nazi scientism. So it's what it is. When it comes to care, it's medicinal, it's balance, it's diets, a lot of it, and other things. And generating another system that utilises the best already in the system that might have a day off. Oh, could we fund you to do surgery on this case, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this? Or just flourishing, Does that sound good? I think it sounds good.